Hi, Nick Duffy here from Nick Duffy Golf and MMG Golf Performance. Here to talk a little bit about the hip slide in the golf swing. So, if you are working on your game and you see your video from Face On for the first time and you're wondering why there's some stuff going on, or maybe you're working with a coach and you're not understanding why your pivot may not look great at the top of the backswing, a lot of times what players don't pay attention to is the direction that the hips move in the golf swing. All right, so your hips are going to move in three different directions, right? They're going to have the lateral movement, rotational, and then vertical. So within those three areas, you have a lot of room for freedom in the swing. Now, what I tend to see for some players that may be a little bit limited in their turn, may have been taught this also, because there is a camp out here that does teach a little bit of what I'm going to say today. And then also players who just don't know any better have just learned to do this. So in the backswing, as I'm getting to the top of my backswing, I would like to see in most players a little bit of getting into that right hip, right? Just barely. We're saying like this, like you can barely see it on video. What that does is help you kind of use the ground a little bit. You're not moving off the ball much at all. I don't really teach like, loading up on the right, loading up on the left. That's just not my style. I like a little more centered pivot. So what I'm talking about is this little move in the takeaway where we're just going here, barely moving to that right hip, a little Rory look, and get to the top of our backswing. What that does, it just helps you kind of line some stuff up, helps a little bit with rhythm, so we're not feeling like we're just staying dead still. And this also is best for, should I say, like mid irons up. Short irons, specialty shots, you're not going to move as much. So big time disclaimer there for the rest of this video. So overall, what I'm going to talk about is a little bit of if the hips move reverse way in the backswing, how is that going to affect your upper body pivot? So what I've been seeing over the years and what I've seen from players that come to see me for lessons, what I've seen from better players who maybe got taught a weird little way or just got into a bad habit, maybe they're told to actually feel like they're pivoting more behind it to get this back to be lined up or something like that. They do it in a funky way or find a way to cheat. Most good players do. What they're going to do is make their backswing, and instead of actually getting that left shoulder back and pivoting properly, they're going to actually move their hips this way to get the look they're looking for on camera. So they're kind of cheating by just finding a position, but not actually learning to do the correct motion to get there. To get the most out of their swing, you would actually want to load up a little bit into the right side and then pivot around. Now I'm actually fully turned, fully braced as I go back. Whereas if I'm doing it this way, by just turning my hips, now when I go to push on the ground to change directions, I get nothing to push against. I've already moved myself too far that way, right? So basically what we're trying to work on is getting ourselves to load into this right hip, load into that right foot, push into the ground as hard as we can. Once again, you can push into the ground if you're on a force plate, if you're on any type of device that measures force in the ground, you can actually push into the ground and look like you're not really moving that much this way. If I'm pivoting this way though, okay, it's really hard to push into the ground. And there are people who do this. There are people who have that move in their backswing. Too much big early hip turn, no force in the ground this way, and then all I can really hit it with from here is rotation from the top. They may shallow it pretty well, but then you're basically just trying to use just rotary to help you get through the ball. So biggest thing on this entire thing, learn how to use the ground properly by pushing into it, right? Turning and pivoting into that right foot around the right hip, right? That way we can actually load dynamically and actually use our power to hit the ball longer, get better at this game instead of just trying to find a position that may look good on camera, right? But is not really effective day to day and actually getting you to be a better player. Because once again, if we get these reverse hips going, now I don't have much to hit from on the way through, right? So once again, if we're going to do this properly, push into the ground, boom. And what's a good drill for this? It would be kind of like what I just said. It would actually be starting out, club here a little more forward, okay? Great takeaway drill, all right? I'm gonna feel like I got a little less pressure in my right heel as I'm starting. I'm starting more left. I'm gonna push down, bring the club back, and get through it that way. It's gonna help me get that initial motion and get through it. It would be very hard pressed to see any one of the top 10 guys on tour working on a move to use the ground less in their backswing. So this is all about us trying to use the ground better, more efficiently, to help us get the most out of the golf ball, hit the ball the longest we possibly can, and shoot lower scores. Hopefully this video helps you out, and if you have any questions, please ask me in the comments. Hi, hopefully this video helps you out. If you liked it, please like my video, please subscribe, please put a comment down asking any questions or just anything that may do with the video. If you need any suggestions or you want to suggest another video for me, please let me know in the comments. I'd be more than happy to try to shoot them. I'm always looking for good ideas. So any way I can help out the viewers of this channel, please let me know. Hopefully these tips help you out and will continue to improve your game. Thanks.